the Leicester game, in the post-match with Rob Gurney at BBC CWI, you were talking about how you've got the whole week to prepare for this one. So has it been the whole week preparing, looking ahead to Birmingham, or are you looking at the next three in a chunk?
Solely with the players, it's Birmingham, but our job as staff is to view the week as well. So we're aware of the busy week we've got coming up, difficult opposition, but for the players, the full prep's been on Birmingham.
Okay, second derby game in a row, your first experience of Birmingham City as a Coventry City manager. How are you approaching this one differently to Leicester?
Well, in the Championship, you have to take every game for the different types of opposition you're coming up against. Leicester were a very good team. We know that team that played in the Premier League recently. I thought we acquitted ourselves very well in the game, and we get our draw and we come away, which I think is progress from us from potentially maybe where we would have been last season in ways against those type of teams. But I think Birmingham deserve their own respect because of the squad that they have, the quality of players, the depth that they have in their squad, the style that they come up with, high pressing team, good quality in their team, lots of options, and good coach. So we have to understand what the game is.
And a lot of investment, obviously, that's gone into Birmingham City with the owners, and a newly promoted team. Is there a difference in the way you approach matches? Leicester, obviously, a parachute team, and then Birmingham City recently just promoted up. So is there a way that you approach those differently in mentality?
No, I just think you understand it. I think, Leicester's gone, but with Birmingham, I think they're a team that won the League One with record points. A lot of those players are still there, so they're players that were probably used to winning a lot in that league, which is helpful as a club because it helps you build confidence as a group. And obviously they know now they step up a level, they've invested as well and added to the squad. So there'll be probably things that they're thinking we need a bit of time with new players, etc. But I think that the feeling around that club means that they're pretty confident, it would seem. And with the new players that they've been able to invest in, strengthens their squad. So yeah, we'll say respect. When you play, respect is a dangerous word. You want to play with too much respect, but you have to understand the difficulties of the game. And as I say, we watch. My job is to watch them a lot, understand the way they play, the stats behind them. They're certainly a high pressing, aggressive team off the ball, which is something we'll have to be aware of. And yeah, we'll see.
Are you confident? You talk about their confidence. Are you confident going into the match ahead?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the moment we're unbeaten, and I think probably on paper we should have won pretty much every game. Leicester's different. I think it was a game that we drew, and it was a trade-off. So we have to carry that confidence, absolutely. So there's a balance of confidence, which is great when you've got confidence of our second half of last season and the start of this. You want to feed off of that, but you also have to understand this league and be realist. And the good opposition are coming, and we have to be at it.
3 matches ahead of the next international break. Are you where you'd hoped you would be in terms of starts to the season?
I didn't set clear objectives like that. I'm not one to go like that, especially at the start of the season. It's such a long way to go, even now that I think the league is very close. Positions will change, feeling will change through the long season. So I'm very happy with performance, I have to say, in our games. We've performed very well in the game. Have we got what we deserve from certain games? No, but that's what it is. But as a coach, I think you can be happy when a team's performing well. We must continue with those levels.
You've got this busy sort of 3 week. You've had a whole week's preparation for this one, and then 2 away fixtures, and a couple of another 12:30, and then 12:30 away at Sheffield Wednesday as well. How do you approach a set of fixtures which are sort of not your traditional 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, but 2 aways come in and a chunk of 3 when you've had a whole week?
I'm not concerned about the early kick-off tomorrow for us. We've had a whole week, as you say. Sheffield Wednesday coming as an early kick-off after our Wednesday night game is difficult for us. I think Sheffield Wednesday play on Tuesday, we play on Wednesday, and we go and kick off early. It's not ideal, and I think it's something that the league should be more diligent about in terms of when you play on a Wednesday night. It's easy not to change that game, but I understand TV, it's a different conversation. But we approach it as I sort of touched on before. Birmingham is our sole focus. My job and our job as staff will be how do we use the squad as well as possible in those 3 games whilst remaining as strong as we possibly can be. And this is our first little run of a test of that by playing 3 games in that tight turnaround. So it will be a challenge for the squad. It may give opportunity at different moments for players, and they have to step up in that point.
And I guess learning for you as well as to how the squad and the group perform under that kind of slightly more intense pressure of match after match after match.
Yeah. This is a championship, and we knew this going in. We haven't got the biggest squad, that's clear. So we have to try and use it as well as we can.
It's another derby game, and it's at the CBS Arena, and obviously the atmosphere has been pretty intense and insane. And the old travelling Sky Blue Army at Leicester last week were immense. Obviously, they always are. Are you looking forward to experiencing a different kind of atmosphere at CBS when it's a derby match?
Well, yeah, sure. We know what we're getting really generally at the CBS. I mean, I've felt it so many times since I've been here, and I think it's something we're proud of. These fans are always very consistent in terms of how they travel with us and how they are at the CBS. But the great thing is, since my first game in Cardiff last season to where we progressed to at the end of the season, fans always react to what they're seeing on the pitch and performance and passion and energy within the team. And at the minute, we have a really good link with that generally. So that's sort of to be expected at this point. We need to keep going ourselves, but the derby element will bring an extra touch to it, which is good. It's good. We have to try and tap into it, and I'm excited for the atmosphere that the game will be.
When we were speaking, I think to Jack Midoni and Mo, how are you sort of assessing what he's managed to do in the start of the season? Yeah,
he's playing well. He's playing really well, and he'll be frustrated because I know Rudy, because he wants to score in every game, he wants to assist in every game, but he has done that at the start of the season. But underneath that, his chance creation, his threat to the opposition, wherever he's playing, whoever we're playing against. You know, he's grown since I've come into this job, from the player that I walked into to where he is now in terms of performance, persona, his way he is around the training ground. So he's a very, very good player, Jack, and he's young still, and has big qualities. So he's a huge part of what we're doing.
It seems as though there's a kind of really good relationship between you and Jack Midoni. Did you, when you were a player, did you have that with a manager where you learnt from somebody particularly who invested in you? Yeah, clearly. The main one was Jose Mourinho, because he came in actually at a time when I was a similar age to Rudy. I was 24, 25, and he really injected something into my game in terms of on and off the pitch, or how I feel about the game, where my confidence is at and things like that, as well as tactical tweaks. I think with good players, with Rudy's talent base, I think it's more you give them the tactical information. That's always our job, but it's also how you talk to them, how you engage with them all the time. That's what I experienced myself. It won't always be that case. Some managers have different ways of doing it, but we have a really good relationship. We talk a lot. We were talking yesterday morning about midfield play and goal threat, and I know what that mindset is. So that's quite easy for me to talk about, and he's easy to get on with. Is it quite rewarding to be on the other side of that relationship now? Yeah, it's not far off as rewarding as playing. Nothing in management is quite as rewarding as playing. There is a bigger responsibility as a whole, so wins feel great and losses feel bad, but in terms of the individual relationships, when you see a player grow through the work and through everything, and perform the way he's performed, then you get a real good sense and feeling from it. And I'm always like that. I'm very happy for the boy, because when lads want to commit and want to train and want to ask questions and want to stay out and do all the work that I know is necessary, that's not always a given. Some players have talent and don't understand that side. Some players have talent and do, and they're the ones that become top players. Nice to see you.
And you, how you doing?
I'm alright, thanks. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been alright. It's been an enjoyable one. Obviously, it's always nice to have a little derby early on in the season, and with the way we're performing, I think it's a good time to play.
And how did it feel to come on against Leicester, talking of derbies, and to get back on the pitch?
Yeah, it was a nice feeling. It's been a strange one for me personally, obviously, with having the injury in the playoff game. I don't think any of us expected it to be such a long injury, but it's one of them. Obviously, I had to miss pre-season, which set me back a little bit. But yeah, to get some minutes against Leicester, it was such a nice feeling. Yeah, on the Sky Blue Army were obviously quite clearly happy to see you, and were very loud in making that known. Is it different for you, being a Cov kid, playing in these derbies? It must be. 100%. I feel like you understand what it means to the fans a little bit more than the other players. And obviously it means a lot more to me personally. Obviously, I see it as a derby, and they're the games you want to win desperately. But no, I thought the boys did well. It was a tough game. It felt like a little bit of a basketball game at times, but we defended well, and we had a few chances we could have scored. But I think going away to Leicester, you're taking 0-0 all day.
And when you go on the pitch as somebody returning from injury, and we'll chat about, if I can ask you about the injury in a mo, is there an element of, this is a derby match and you're a Cov kid and it's Leicester away, and do you have to balance how you approach it, so not going into half tackles, for example, or whatever, just to ensure you're not injured immediately again?
No, not really. I think if you asked me that about 4 or 5 years ago, then yeah, I think the nerves would probably get to me a little bit more. But I've played a few games now, so the nerves ain't as bad anymore. But like I said about the tackles, I think it lasted me about 5 minutes to get my first yellow card of the season, so that definitely shows that I'm back. But no, I think every game's the same to me now. Obviously it means a little bit more as it's a derby, but I think at the end of the day you want to win all the games you can.
Talk to us about what happened then. So it was, I think, a dead leg to start with, and then, so what's been going on?
Such a bizarre injury. So at Sunderland second leg playoffs, I managed to get a dead leg twice in the same place within 5 minutes of each other, and obviously then I got forced off. And then obviously end of season, you think the dead leg takes 2 weeks maximum to recover. Got to the 3rd week and the pain was still like worse, like getting worse if not. So that's when I decided to message the physio staff. We had a scan, and it was one of them where there's so much blood around the bone that your body's natural instincts is to start healing, and because it's so close to the bone, the body thought it was bone that needed repairing. So all the blood that was around the bone turned into bone. So technically, right now in my left leg, there's an extra bone that's been obviously growing over the past 2 months. But there's no effects to it, so once it's healed now and feels fine.
So you're like superhuman, you've grown an extra bit of body.
Yeah.
That's weird. It sounds really painful.
It was at the time. There wasn't a lot I could do in the off season. Even lifting my leg up at the time was super painful, but it's weird how suddenly it's healed. It's fine. I'd forget it's there.
Are you're not aware of it at all
No
now?
anymore, no.
Oh, that sounds
really
unheard of. Sorry. That's just a human reaction to something that sounds quite weird.
Yeah, well, I was the exact same as you, so
yeah.
it's weird.
Okay, so you're back, and then you've got your minutes in. Was there any point in that process then where you were thinking, will I ever get back? Were there some doubts in there?
I think obviously with injuries you feel like when the pain isn't going away you think, is this going to be for the rest of my career or will it affect me? But obviously the more you train, the more you forget about it. The pain's gone now, so it feels like I'm back to normal.
Has it done anything to the way you approach your playing career? Has it changed any mentality, just having that kind of moment of, oh, this could, I mean, you obviously, it's football, you can be aware that it can end at any point given injuries, but has it changed anything about the way you approach what you do day to day?
I wouldn't say so. I feel like in my game I'm a bit aggressive, and I thought this injury could stop me, but obviously playing Leicester the other day, I still had that aggressiveness in me, and that will always be a part of me. But no, there's no other way I'd change it. Obviously you can have some freak injuries, and thankfully this one's over now, and hopefully I won't get any more.
Did you still feel very much part of the team whilst out and not being able to be part of the season?
Yeah, I think we've got such a great group of boys here. Obviously, even though I couldn't do much, I still went away on a pre-season tour, and we obviously had a lot of team bonding sessions this season, so which is always good. And obviously, for me personally, I never really wanted to be left out. So anything they did, I always wanted to be involved, even if it was painful at the time. But you know what I mean. Like I said, the boys are top here. I get on with every single one of them.
So it's back-to-back derbies, so now obviously Leicester, now you're heading to Birmingham. It wasn't there last season obviously because they've been promoted up with record points, etc, etc. How much respect are you going to give them if you manage to get some time on the pitch?
0, if that's the correct answer. I don't think you show any of your opponents any respect. I think we're unbeaten so far this season. We want to keep that going for as long as possible, and if we could do one better and get a win instead of a draw, that would help us in the long run. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And are you in a position to be able to think that you may get more game time now over the next 3 weeks? Have you reacted well to playing?
That's my goal now, is to get as many minutes as possible. I've obviously had a few conversations with the gaffer. He's looked after me really well. Obviously I played some minutes in the 21s just to get some minutes in my legs. Obviously after being out for so long, I missed all the pre-seasons games, so I was happy to play in that, and now it's just trying to build on the minutes week by week.
And that competitiveness within the group and the squad in order to try and get back in there, and is that a good thing for everybody? Is the mood great amongst everyone?
Like I said, the boys are top. Obviously, even though you're not starting, you still support the boys in front of you, and if anything, it pushes you to do better. Love watching Torpy at the moment. Obviously, he's thriving. He's in a bit of form. Same with Grimesy. Obviously, Grimes has done it his whole career, so there's not much you can do apart from just show what you're capable of in training, and when you get a chance in the game to show what you're all about.
Any message for the Sky Blue Army ahead of Birmingham City?
Bring the noise again. We appreciate the noise you bring, and hopefully we can bring the 3 points back for you this time.